What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box.
Hey.
This is iRacing Michelin Cup from Long Beach. Starting in second place, driving the GT4s. And the leader's just gonna book it. Or not. What are we doing here?
Green.
Trying to be sporting, I guess. Cool with that. And take it easy here. We're not gonna try and go for that pass, seeing how he did slow up for us. Now qualifying, this guy got pulled by 0.06 of a second, and then it was basically about a second to the cars behind us, so. He's already in the wall.
Left side.
Alrighty.
Still there. Clear on the left.
Full tires are a thing in iRacing, finally. Of course, they've probably been a thing for the last, year or so, but a little rusty, haven't been around the most. But it is nice to know that the cars actually have full tires. So this is actually race number 3 here in this series for me, just because it's so much fun. Long Beach is such an enjoyable track. I enjoy it that much that I just keep doing more and more races. I also say the BMW M4 GT4.
Okay, you are the leader.
I like it. Yeah, I picked this car up when it originally released back in middle of last year, middle of 2020. And the tire temperature sensitivity was a major issue. Like, the car was okay for 5 laps, and then overheated the tires, which was inevitable, and there was nothing you can do with the setup to actually fix it. And then from that point, you were just chronic understeer, total mess of a car to drive. Whereas now, still handles like a boat, still handles like a tank. But now that I've spent some serious time with it here at Long Beach in particular, it's like, okay, I'm getting this. Now this is a mixed class series. There's the Audi TCR, Audi RS3 TCR. Although the time gap between them, especially at a track like here, is like 3 or 4 seconds-ish. It obviously depends on the pace of the drivers, but it's nowhere even close to the same type of multi-class as the proper full-blown IMSA series is. The other thing that's really helped my enjoyment with this car, turning off the DSC, the stability control system. Even on the quote-unquote MDM setting, which I assume just means medium, which from what I gather is kind of like the baseline default. You know, it's neither too intrusive or full-blown, just give me my right foot in control. But it definitely feels much more nimble. And then I just basically went ahead and stiffened all of the springs all the way around, stiffened the anti-roll bars, which for a street circuit seems a little bit counterintuitive. You know, like, it's fairly bumpy. But then again, I guess you kind of have to frame it in the context of, well, it's a GT4 car, even at its stiffest. It's nothing compared to, you know, like an LMP2 car, for example. all of the room there. Keep the mirrors on the car today, that's the goal. I'll say I'm actually interested to get into a head-to-head race with a Porsche that's of the same pace. Because so far this, week with these few races that I've done so far, it's either been, a Porsche way off in the distance or BMW's way off in the distance, but I've not had anything with a Porsche that's like of the same speed. And that's not a comment on the balance of performance or anything like that. It's just, it seems like for whatever reason, there's been a bunch of BMWs in my races, and that's basically the way it's gone. I would assume that probably in all likelihood, Porsche probably a good bit more nimble than the BMW. So much fun. Long Beach rules. So here, let me just go ahead and say it. iRacing, Surfer's Paradise win. Like that's ever gonna happen. I guess technically now it's just referred to as Gold Coast, but literally never gonna happen. Like, considering it took them 13 years to get this track out the door. I will say I'll also settle for St. Pete. I'll take that one. That's not the worst track. Not nearly as exciting, but, hey. Toronto. And if you can somehow, like, undo the hotel, like, that way you can get the good corners back in that final section rather than that fiddly, super narrow section. I'm just spitballing here. Throwing ideas out, seeing what sticks. Speaking of things that stick, apparently Porsches on BMW bumpers. This guy is all over our tail here. Shift the brake balance back a little bit now the tires have heated up.
Left side, clear on the left.
I don't know if he just had a lunge there, or if he's just got into the corner deeper than he's expecting, and he's like, well. So I was not looking in the mirror there on that one. Oh no, we flubbed it.
Right side, clear on the right.
Come on, BMW power! Power. Right? Isn't that what it is? It's not M power, it's power. It's delicious. The other thing to note is I'm running absolute minimum wing. Not really sure how big of a difference it is in a car like this. But I kind of figured, all of these corners are about 60 miles an hour. A wing really ain't gonna do anything for you. Like, you don't need to worry about aerodynamic downforce per se. So I just kind of figured, hey, you know what? Take the wing out of it. Maybe gain a few extra miles an hour down the straights. It might not necessarily be the faster route. So you can definitely feel the car move around on braking. But, it's going to make your life easier to pass going down the straights. Alternatively, you can drop the hammer and hopefully just leave a Cayman in your dust. That is the one advantage of giant boat cars. Straight line speed is so huge of an advantage. Because it just makes passing just that much easier when you can just pass a guy in the straight, you know? It's like, you know, if you have DRS versus the other guy, just because that's the way your car works, it makes it its lap time. It's definitely a big time advantage. Time through the hairpin, I feel like I'm gonna break my wrist. Doing that all left-handed, basically. Take the right hand off the steering wheel, crank it under. Being one of them suicide knobs, you know?
Car stopped on the right.
How's that for an idea? A Formula-style rim with a suicide knob on it. Hell yeah. There you go, Fanatec. I've invented your next product. Frickin' BMW M4 GT4 prototype. Frickin' steering wheel Long Beach edition. Made with real influence right on the production line alongside the real steering wheel.
Yes.
Go left.
This guy definitely has the measure of us in that slower speed section. Although I will say one thing with the BMW, I have a very, very bad time with the brakes. I can't think of a time where I've found the stopping distance of a car here in iRacing more inconsistent and more confusing. Like, I don't know if it's the ABS system, and obviously, you know, there's no feedback system for that. Or what, but it's just like, sometimes I'll just go into the corner and I'll feel like, oh hey, this time we're not stopping. Like turn one in particular, I definitely feel like I can go deeper, but there's like a 50-50 chance I end up in the wall. And I honestly can't figure it out. I'm just not good enough, simple as that. Guy's definitely sticking with us. We've opened up a gap to third. 15 minutes left, 15 and a half, so we're just about halfway. Yep, see? See? And just like that, freaking car just decides that it doesn't want to stop. Okay. Not exactly the type of thing that inspires confidence on the brakes. At this point, probably need to ease off there. Or we melt the front tires even worse.
Car right. Clear on the right.
Alrighty, let's regroup, put that lap behind us. And we're blinking. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my connection's actually been fine for the last week, and then today it started acting up again. So what I can hope is this guy's been behind me for so many laps. He knows what I'm doing, where I'm at.
Car right. Clear on the right.
That is the one saving grace when you're racing with a blinker. If you've been racing with them for several laps, you get an understanding of how their car performs, what lines they're running, and you kind of have an idea of where they're going to be as long as they don't screw up. Although I do feel bad for him because it is very incredibly distracting when cars keep disappearing and reappearing in front of you. That's great. Come on. Come on. Hold it together. Come on. We had enough gap there. He's not going to be able to capitalize. I do wonder though if he's holding back, if he's saving anything. It does kind of feel like on one hand he's not been able to really get into a passing position. But I don't know if he's slower. 'Cause I think he might be legitimately faster. But again, power. Scraping the wall. Scraping the wall so lightly, not even getting a 0x. That's the good stuff. Alright, looks like we're coming up towards our first of the TCRs. Or I guess ST. Isn't that the class name? I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember the last time I watched the real world version of the series, which is a shame because it's actually really awesome, or at least it used to be really awesome. Taking it easier and easier and easier into turn one. Well, you know what? Already nearly threw it into the fence. Defensive there. Is this guy running a mellow yellow TCR? Is that a mellow yellow car? It's got mellow yellow colors. It is not a mellow yellow car. Sorry to get your hopes up. But it does have the color, so I will give him credit on that. So we do like the mellow yellow scheme here.
Left side. Clear.
Alright, so the battle rages on. Need to ease up there on that red line there. Because depending on how much car you put across the red line into the pit lane, you'll get yourself a slowdown penalty. So you want to do just enough to find the speed, but not too much. We certainly are having a good race here. He is all over us.
Right side.
Ah!
Clear.
Got a 4X there. Know what happened there.
Right side.
He's too busy worrying about the crunching sound and that was emanating from in front of me. I'm like, oh no, where'd the Audi go? So, fun fact, the previous race I did here, in the previous time slot, Started on pole, ran away, ended up winning by like 7 seconds. It's a very boring race, unfortunately. But last lap, last corner in the hairpin. Some guy stuffed it into the barriers right in front of me. Ended up parked in the middle of the track. I was like, really? Fortunately, I snuck on by and it's of no consequence to me, but it's like, let's not do that at this stage.
Car on. Clear.
Oh no! Dude. This race has like 10,000% of my yearly quota of caveman noises already. Where did he go? Where did he go? Uh-oh. Where'd he go? What happened? Where did he go? No! He's in the pits. He must have benned it.
Seems like he was just going straight into the barrier. Maybe the wheel got off or something.
No, man.
Stop being so consistent, Avery.
Quest 2 decided to disconnect.
I'm gonna
Oh.
the last lap.
That sucks.
It is outings and engine maps.
So his VR headset disconnected and presumably heated up in the wall. And that's the end of his race. That blows. That really sucks because, I mean, we're minute 45 left in this race. He's basically been right on my bumper the whole time. I don't know if he would have been able to make a pass just because it feels like we had pretty significant straight line advantage.
Real nice work. This is the white flag lap.
But at the very least, I mean, that's a total cock block right there. I mean, at least, you know, when I've been in those scenarios, you know, where you're behind a car, like, you just want at least a chance, and at the very least, just a finish.
Nothing scarier than going to let a passenger car pass you, it scares on you.
I always hate to see mechanicals in sim racing. It's just one of those things, you know. In the real world, you know, this is the equivalent of 30-cent part broke, you know. Like, it happens. But it's like in the virtual world, you know, with sim racing, the cars don't fall apart. You can be way super aggressive on the curbing and all that stuff, and it's not going to vibrate apart, you know. Like, it's just not something that we deal with. And I think in the past where the discussion has come up, if that is something that should be, like, simulated, it seems like it's always been a resounding no because of the sanctity of the competition, I guess you'd say. But,
No amount of fuel, what the fuck?
total bummer. Like, I really do feel legitimately bad for him. Like, yeah, we won the race. Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good fight between us. And we definitely had to earn it because I definitely was not
You
taking
won.
it easy
See
this
you in
race.
victory lane.
He was definitely keeping us honest, but it's like such a disappointment at that stage in the race. Alrighty, breaking away from the race here into a post-race debrief. First of all, carnage report. Not a lot of carnage to report. It's one of those things where Long Beach is a track where everybody dies in turn 0 before you even get to the green flag. Or alternatively, you tend to see a lot of just smaller, fiddly little wrecks for the most part. Now, every now and then, you'll definitely get a big one, especially in the fountain section, but nothing doing here as far as I could find. So, moving on to the other thing. The guy's headset disconnected. He was not happy with it. Apparently, that's happened a few times already. He said that apparently he just got his Oculus Quest 2, and he's been having this issue in a few races, which is definitely disappointing to hear. I asked him if he could make a pass, you know, how is this going to actually shake out? Were you just kind of sitting there working, biding your time, waiting for me to maybe make a mistake or something? And he said he could have gone for a few passes, but he seemed to indicate, being new to VR, that maybe he was a little bit timid because, presumably, thinking back to my experiences moving to VR, the cars are big, and like, especially if you're driving a little Porsche sports car and you're racing against a BMW GT car that's like full size, it's like, please don't squish me, you're so big. But so there's that. He said that he could pass me basically anywhere, and I don't doubt that he was faster on a raw lap pace. However, I don't know where he was going to get by me because, again, if he could have, he probably would have. We also had a 2-mile-an-hour speed advantage at the end of the straight, and that was with him behind us, so I should have a little bit of a benefit from a slipstream. But, yeah, score 1 for running no wing right there. That's what I'm going to put that one down to. We got in front when he made that mistake early, and we didn't let go. He might have been faster. He might have been able to make it past, but we had the straight line speed where it counted. And that was going into turn 1, the best passing opportunity on the track. So, yeah, one of those races that it's fun, it's exciting. You know, doing a 30-minute race where there's a guy on your bumper the whole time and there's concrete walls everywhere, and if you make a mistake, you're going to get dusted in all likelihood. It's one of those things, it's like there's so much depth there and just like concentration. But to have it end that way with him having a hardware issue is just like, oh, like, you ruined that guy's race and you ruined my satisfaction. You know, like, yeah, I won, but like, I want to know I earned it rather than like, he disconnected with like 2 laps to go. Maybe he would have had a chance. What would have happened? Could have I held it together? But anyways, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. All right, bye.